Hi, it's Dennis again. Welcome to the Frontier. This is our third episode of the Frontier podcast. We're very grateful and very happy about how this journey is going. When we started this podcast, it was kind of like an attempt, like how we used to describe it, to discuss about crypto, Web3, money, and the trends driving those three fundamentals in Africa. From our first episode to our second episode and now our third episode, it's been a very interesting conversation. We thank our listeners and our fans for sticking it out there for us and sticking along this journey with us. Today we're talking about mobile money, Web3 in Africa, and the fourth person in the room joined us today because we are four hosts: Jeffrey, Isaac, and Jordan. So I will give Jordan the floor to introduce himself before we jump into the episode proper. Jordan, please, can you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Dennis. So my name is Jordan Muthemba, and I'm a blockchain maximalist. Very passionate about blockchain technology and building a better financial future. I do like smart contract using Solidity and also build DApp application. Recently I've been doing more teaching and empowering Web3 developers across Kenya and also Africa to be able to find solution to problems and being able to impact different community through blockchain and related technology. I've I've been working with Celo for like now almost 2 years within the Celo Kenya ecosystem to help build and grow the ecosystem. Yeah. So thank you, Dennis, for this today's podcast and also for this. Yeah. So back to Dennis.
Yeah, sure, man. It's always nice to bring you on. We are a solo company by default. Uh, company below Yuki is a solo company, and it happens to be that we are proponents of solo, and we definitely understand the sale angle when it comes to mobile money. Because when you look at all the blockchains that are out there and how they are designed and the primitives, we'll call it the fundamentals of what is driving most blockchains and the products basis around these things, you see that there are so many distinctions, right? Ethereum is built around smart contract development and the rest of that. Then you have Bitcoin focusing on the digital gold philosophy and the rest of that. But today's topic focuses on mobile money um, and crypto in Africa, especially East Africa. And Jordan is from Kenya. And my kind of like pre-focus on the conversations we're going to have is going to be, first of all, is going to come out, come around Celo and how the mobile money ethos around Celo and is kind of doing in Africa. And then number two, the mobile money adoption and crypto adoption. How is it going in East Africa? Because I, for once, have some personal observations about the relationship between mobile money and crypto and how is defining consumer culture and crypto adoption in East Africa and how that is actually happening across the rest of African jurisdiction. If you are new to Africa or if you're hearing the mobile money for the first time, mobile money are financial banks powered by SIM cards and phone numbers. They are heavily used in East Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, and some other and the rest of them. While in West Africa here, we are a heavily transfer and card-based economy when it comes to digital payment. So East Africa is very unique when it comes to mobile money because of the heavy adoption. And Jordan, I want to bring you in here, right? Right. Just want you to like give us like a layman view of how mobile money is going in East Africa and how the relationship between crypto and Web3 is actually going. And like, what do you see happening on the ground, and what can you tell our listeners about that today?
Okay. Thank you, Dennis. I think when you speak about mobile money and mobile money or mobile transaction, you can't talk about it without having to mention M-Pesa, which is the earliest form of mobile money transfer and also mobile banking. So one of the key things that has been propelling the adoption of crypto in East Africa region is more because of the wide usage of mobile phones, the feature phones, and the smartphones. So in January, like January 2023, there is like approximately 60 million mobile devices which have been registered in Kenya, which means with also the wide internet connectivities even in rural areas, it makes it easy for people to be able to understand what is happening within the world, or what is how they can be able to do this transaction. Because I would speak more of Kenya, because that's where I know that there is a really huge internet connectivity and also mobile usage. And the most transaction are really based, because they are micro transactions. They people tend to do transactions on mobile phones rather than on bank transfers. Yeah, but apart from that, apart from speaking about the M-Pesa, then you move on to crypto adoption. So crypto adoption has really been with younger generations. I think millennials and also Gen Zs have been seeing people, younger people, get into crypto because they do understand, they see what they see the value, and they do have um, uh, phones that they can be able to interact with. And remember that most of these young generation don't really do bank. They don't really do bank. And yeah, I think before I bring it back to you, Dennis, I may mention something about what have actually led more to this kind of setup. And it's more because of how people, or generally how mobile purchases are really easy to do. We have really cheap phones where people get to buy uh, like phones I, I don't know how to explain this, but the access to buying devices or phones in Kenya, it's really cheap if you compare to some regions in Africa, and access to these devices also. Yeah, when it comes to crypto adoption, that's what I believe that I've been able to lead. That's what I think that is what one of the major things that has been able to bring about the adoption, and also the kind of target market within. Since most people are younger generations, and already and already people do know how to use the mobile phones, it becomes easy for them. I'll give an example of what was recently happening. I know some people have heard about WorldCoin in a different, in a negative and a positive way, but I'm gonna talk about a little bit about the positive side of it. The reason why most people were able to get verified and also be able to join the WorldCoin momentum all ecosystem was because of the devices they already do have, and they do know that the value is easy to be able to translate. If you get the if you were verified and you got the WorldCoin, you would be able to cash out easily, and there was no need to like do mass education on how to cash out the coins. the people are it was self-explanatory for them to be able to do that. So once they got verified, yeah, that is one of the things that I saw part of the positive part, because most people had smartphones. They were able to download the application, get verified, and get into the ecosystem. That is one thing that I saw, which was really positive. And circling back to the Celo ecosystem, where we've been talking about having uh, uh, having a mobile first approach, means that you are creating for the market, because the future is mobile phone and such. I think I don't know, but I think we can go on with from there, Dennis.
Yeah, sure. It makes a lot of sense. I think with what you said, I think you can come in here, right? Because for me personally, I have this stronger belief that mobile money, Africa, East Africa, Kenya, like it's a very big pace setter. It's a very big use case defining behavioral cultures we are seeing in those markets when it comes to because how you want, no matter how you want to describe it, right? I think digital payments is digital payments, whether it's crypto or mobile money. To the end user, it's just digital payments, but the inner workings of how the money is being moved and the cost and the convenience is what actually defines the behavioral cultures of like or the choices of a customer to choose whether to use a stable coin or a crypto wallet or a mobile money M-Pesa wallet to move funds. So I just want to bring it. You mentioned two things about the world coin experiment. What I for me, I don't buy the idea of the world coin something because I just believe it's something that's to me I think they basically don't need to call it a world coin to just buy people's identity because I mean I just see it as an identity poaching scheme. That is my personal view. They might have good intentions. I don't. We let's find out later. But on mobile money, leveling it out on mobile money in Africa and what I'm seeing in Kenya with what you just described. For me, I just want to drive it down to Isaac and say, like, what's your view on this whole conversation, right? Like, how do you think the game is playing out for crypto and mobile money? Because do you think there is no real need for crypto in East Africa because there is wide adoption of mobile money? Or do you think the both of them can coexist? Actually, what's your opinion?
Uh,
Isaac, if you're saying anything,
I think f-
okay, go ahead,
same for
please.
me, and also Isaac.
No, just go ahead,
Hello.
Jordan.
Oh, okay,
Jordan, go ahead,
okay,
please.
okay. I think they can really coexist. One reason, uh, all one reason as to why is uh we the African country in general, a lot of the currencies are, are losing value uh so fast, like in a very fast. I don't know whether it's a race we are linked to lose the currency value. Today is Uganda, tomorrow is
It's
Kenya. I'm not sure
a
what
100
is
meter
happening,
race.
but yeah,
Want to see who's going to lose the most.
yeah, who's gonna lose the
I
most?
understand you, man.
Yeah, so I do think crypto is gonna stay for a very long time, and they can be able to coexist together. Because one, when you go when you look at the diaspora digital remittance from diaspora to Kenya, it's really high, and it's always in dollar. And they do coexist in a way. And also for the most people, like young people in Kenya, are still using crypto to be paid. So I strongly believe that they can be able to coexist, and
Let's
even do a lot.
let's yeah,
Yeah.
let's splice some behavioral. Let's point out some important pointers for our listeners here, because what I understand from you, because I've had this personal opinion that digital crypto payments is not something, is more of like the cross-border factor than the local payments factor. Because look at what I believe, because I believe that where crypto holds value or what are in Africa is on cross-border and remittances. Anything that has to do with from one country to another destination, I think that's where for me crypto holds border. And as a young person right now in Kenya, trying to transfer money to somebody, a merchant in the store, I don't see the reason why I should have to you do it with crypto, number one. Then number two, selling something to accept Bitcoin as a mode of payment. I don't really see the value for that merchant because there's a lot of complexities and volatility involved in that conversation, number one. Then it's better for them to accept the money in fiat. And then number two, I think the value comes in where people has the opportunity to be able to keep some of those fiat back, make it get maybe get it back in cryptocurrency or back in dollars to be able to like that inflation protection team, like to be able to protect individuals from losing their money to inflation. I think that is where the coexistence of cryptocurrency and mobile money lies well, very well in Africa generally, I would say, because take a look at this example. Somebody sends you money from somebody, like I want to really get it, like what's the what's the like for mobile money, like does it go beyond the borders of some African country, East African countries, or let's say somebody sending you money from Kenya to some South Africa, from South Africa, for example, to Kenya, can they do it using M-Pesa, or do they need to use a mobile local remittance service or something like that?
You've actually pointed a lot of points that I would agree with, or I agree with, specifically for local transactions. I've not really seen a lot of people, apart from companies which are coming up, where people can do a day on today or a daily to daily basis transaction, the way you would do with M-Pesa. If you're paying for your gas, for your electricity bill, people normally do with M-Pesa here. But when it comes to crypto, they just see it as a way to be able to hold value and to protect them from inflation and such crisis. That's actually the general scenario in Africa, because it's kind of a cash economy where the cash you get, you pay for a service, and you don't have time to do the savings or to do any other payment. And there was a question that I was asked, if I was gonna be given like let's say $1 or $100, would I keep them in dollars for long, or would I be able to pay for $1 with the dollar? And I said, of course I can be able to pay with the dollar, but the person you're paying later on will go to the bank or look for a forex bureau and do the exchange, because they cannot be able to stay for long with knowing they have cash, and that cash is convertible to the local currency, and they because they won't be able to pay for the other services, and they do
Yeah.
need to have local currency.
Off ramp. Yeah, that
So
I think
yeah,
that is where the importance of on and off ramp comes in, right? For Africa with
yeah,
crypto
yeah.
and fiat currency. But one of the curious things for me I've always looked at, and I say, why is nobody actually doing this? Because we have a lot of fiat money moving and coming in and out of crypto every day. Because I think the core use case for crypto in Africa is payments. And it's not just payments, it's cross-border payments, it's remittance, it's wealth protection. Because users should be able to protect themselves from inflation. You should be able to move from your local Kenya shillings to dollars and come back in, because here at Yuki we have a product, a savings product, where people convert their local nairas to dollars and save themselves from inflation. We have users, right? But one of the things I've seen, as you mentioned, because I don't see I'm not seeing, or I don't know why, where we don't have local stable coins. Because let's say the Kenyan shillings on the blockchain, the Naira on the blockchain. I don't know what you think. I don't know your view. I don't know if it holds water or if it makes sense. Because I believe it provides a faster way to off ramp and it provides a faster way to promote kind of a mobile money service to merchants in a wider range, faster and cheaper. Because I think it provides more, because it all circles around ownership for the merchants, them to be able to kind of like own and control their destiny and their assets without not having to depend on intermediaries or banks that they know what they're going to do with their money. Because at the end of the day, this mobile money is built on a fiat infrastructure. But I believe that the primitives of mobile money can be adopted. And if we have a Kenyan shillings on the blockchain and the convertibility of the Kenyan shillings from stable coins to a Kenyan shilling, I don't know what you think what that does for mobile money in Africa and like the learnings for a builder. What can you learn? Like I don't know. Like it just a thought in my head. I don't know what you think and your opinion around it. You are mute, so I don't know.
Uh, yeah. Mm,
Go ahead, please.
I'm trying to uh, um, think on this. I kind of don't really. Uh, but I think one of the ways it would really be able to help uh, when it comes to the Kenya shillings on blockchain and the naira on blockchain, of which it's already a digital currency at the moment. But I don't know how it's going or if people are adopting it. Uh, but I think it would be a really big game changer because now it creates a sense of security for people.
Yeah.
And one thing I've seen, it creates convenience for everyone.
Yeah. It's very
Um,
important. Convenience, because convenience is very important for in digital payments. Because what?
yeah,
Sorry, I'm badging it. Because what I believe is the reason why there is high adoption of mobile money is Africa, and in Africa generally, is because of convenience, and because convenience comes in with affordability and usability. So that idea of convenience, because I think crypto is cumbersome for so many folks, right? Because the idea of moving in and coming out, it's that customer journey is just too long. If platforms can be able to cut it down from just stable coins to Kenya shillings, just right in your application, right? You don't need to, there's no complexity around it. You can just easily go and easily come back. So I think local stablecoins makes a lot of sense for Africa. I think it unlocks the power of what crypto can do and opens up the door for wider spread adoption of digital currencies deeply in the African DNA, like massively and very behavioral. Because my very big problem with crypto in Africa is crypto has this stickiness problem in Africa. It doesn't stick. It's not sticking yet. Like people are struggling to make like you, George, and you understand this. We've spoken about this on a daily basis, right? There is this issue
yeah,
of how do we make crypto part of our day-to-day activity, and that I think that is one thing I find so unique about the Celo blockchain, right? Because it's building towards making crypto sticky, because we have to find a way to interject, build behaviors around the products, not just about the technology and the control and the accessibility. But I believe local stablecoins holds a very big game changer because Africa is very massive. We have almost 54 currencies, different people, right? So there's so much complexity when you're building. But if you can bring all these currencies on the blockchain, though it takes a lot of regulation and the rest of that, I think you can actually unlock mobile money on a very high level because crypto is an invisible technology that empowers this fiat-backed currency to provide higher accessibility for merchants, provide payment, make cross-border better, make payment cheaper, and the rest of that. I don't know. Concluding thoughts as we round off. We already ahead of time, or kind of like, what do you think? What are you telling our listeners? One or two things, we round it off.
Yeah, like I said about conveniency. So, and also being able to build uh, 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 around things that people interact with on a daily basis. I've seen
Mm-hmm.
the different case studies, not case studies, but different projects, like Nuzo, being able to create a platform or an e-commerce system that people can be able to interact with on their daily basis. So if you can be able to buy unga with crypto and also save cash on that, maybe also kind of stake on that, it really makes a lot of sense, because that is something that people do resonate with. That is something that people do interact with on a daily basis. And one thing I can say about the mobile money, I think mobile money is gonna be able to unlock a lot of things. I've also seen a product called Sinch, which used to pay people via mobile through Varora. After you do your micro work, and then you get paid in CUSD and such. So integrating crypto into the local and the daily basis transactions is what gonna make crypto, or adoption of crypto, be sticky. Like, people will be able to understand what the technology is all about and how to use the technology. I normally tell most of the developers that I do train that you have to co-create products with your users. Let the
True.
users be the ones telling you what problems they are facing, and then you come up with a solution, rather than just coming with a solution and then trying to impose that solution into the users. And
A
that's what is
solution,
gonna.
a solution looking for a problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So and also coming to UI UX, uh UI UX needs to be most applications in Web3 or dApps. Most dApps are not really easy for users to be able to use. So they need to be more simplified. They need to be more guided, also more also guided by the users, because you're building for them to be able to use.
True. Like last
Yeah.
episode, we talked about usability, education, and the goal of the product designer for crypto. I think concluding for me and rounding off, I think we had a very interesting conversation. I think we can continue this going on. I think I'm going to close out with this. Crypto makes a lot of sense in Africa. And as an industry, as folks building in the space, I believe we have a lot of learning to take from mobile money. The mobile money adoption in Africa found a way to inoculate itself, let me use that word, inoculation, into the lives of individuals, and has a very strong impact. There's something I call self-trust progression, where people use a product and they keep trusting the product, and the product keep growing, and people keep just progressively they trust the product as the product scales. Unlike crypto, as crypto scales, FTX came and people start losing. What is happening? What's happening to our money? Why is it losing value? What's happening? Like, we need to be able to solve that problem. And how we solve that problem and unlock that problem is by localizing user experience, number one. Number two, by learning from mobile money how it was worked. Because I will, let's say this, I will close out with this. I believe that local stable coins has a role to play in a higher dimension for digital payments in Africa, local digital payments in Africa, and has a very big role to play with solving the on and off ramp problem we have on the continent. From me to you guys, it's always nice to come here every day uh, to have a conversation about crypto, Web3, Talk about things that really matter. Talk about things that are very important. Talk about things nobody's talking about. I always thank our listeners, our fans out there, people, family. I wish you all the best. I wish you good health. And from me to you, it's a good night.